No, it doesn't focus. Forgot to post something on Instagram about it. Maybe I should smile. No one's on yet. This is a lively crowd today.
Somebody.
Oh, one person.
From Ontario. All right. Hi.
All right. Pull my questions back up.
Ontario, California.
No, Ontario, Canada. You're so welcome, Andy.
Texas. All right, I'm gonna start reading through these questions. You can start
This
answering.
was like last time.
This was from. I did a Facebook post I think it was last week, maybe the week before. I don't remember. Oh, wait, July 10th. So that was a week ago. And I asked for people to leave all their questions in here. So now I have a list just to ask you. Okay, here's one. I would love to do back to eating gardening. Unfortunately, we have Morning Glory here in Eastern Washington, and Morning Glory loves wood chips. How do you deal with it? And yeah, how do you deal with an invasive weed that can take over a 4 to 5 foot pile of wood chips faster than I can weed it?
Well, you have to get it out and be diligent. And so, just start small and clear a space and start planting and just keep being progressive and just don't tolerate it. I had thistles at my place and they're really invasive. And it took me years, but I got them all out. It's just a matter of staying with it.
You gotta go for the root.
You ever used vinegar as like a weed killer?
I've never seen vinegar to be that really effective as a weed killer.
Did you use the strong stuff for like cleaning grade or just household
I
vinegar?
use the
Household
probably.
Yeah. You can get vinegar that's like practically bleach, and it's used for cleaning. It's organic and everything, but legally they can't market it as like an herbicide just because all sorts of stupid stuff, but you can use it as an herbicide. Okay, so that kind of answers this question. How do you get rid of crabgrass? Just pull it. Okay, I'm still not 100% sure how to do the whole sifting the chicken run. I assume he put down wood chips in the run. I tried it this year and I'm waiting to see. How often do you put chips or leaves in it? Prior to the chips, the ground in the run was hard and nasty. I'm tired. No way to sift it.
Well, what I did is I take all my yard waste, like grass clippings and weeds and everything from the garden, and over time the chickens, homogenize that all into the soil. and the soil gets really soft. And I just take a screen. It's called a hardware cloth. It's like 1/4 inch grid, and I put it in a wooden frame, and I fill this stuff on top of my wheelbarrow, and whatever comes through, I take in the garden. But it's probably like 2.5, 3 feet deep out there. It's just amazing over time what an amazing amount of material you can build up just from your yard waste. Andy, I still take phone calls. Yeah, you can call me if I'm not here. Just leave your name and phone number, and I'll always return my calls.
Cool. Here's one. It's our second year of doing back to Eden gardening, and this year we have wireworms attacking some of our carrots. I have read about baiting for them using potatoes and then throwing them out. What would Paul recommend? And is there a crop I can plant in this area that the wireworms won't attack? Thank you, Paul, for sharing your testimony of what God has taught and is teaching you. God bless.
Well, you can plant anything in there but a root crop. But Nick knows best about wireworms.
So Paul actually deals with wireworms in the winter. In the summer, they're not a problem, right? Yeah. So you can get predatory nematodes and water them into your soil to like inoculate your soil and get a good colony of the nematodes established. It's best to do that before winter and before you plant your carrots. The predatory nematodes will actually go and they'll hunt down the wireworm or really any kind of root predator. And what they do is they crawl inside any hole in either the worm or the maggot or whatever it is. And then they live inside, then they kill it, but they also mummify the carcass. And they lay eggs in it, and then the eggs hatch and they feed off the body. And then more and more nematodes hatch out that way. But yeah, predatory nematodes are great.
Anyway, Steve, about borders in the garden, I have railroad ties, and I don't think the toxicity comes out because the grass right alongside is bright green. But what I found to be much more effective and nicer is concrete, because concrete you can make bends and curves and make a really attractive edge, and you can just use that 1x4 bender board, and concrete's really cheap and it's very attractive look and it lasts forever. So I think a 4-inch barrier of concrete is your cheapest, cleanest, easiest way to maintain borders.
Are termites normal?
In warm climates, they don't bother wood chips. You see, termites, if you look where termites live, they live in houses and in dead wood, dead stumps. They do not live in a living environment. Wood chips are a living environment, and they'll never show up in wood chips.
And if they do ever show up in wood chips, they're not going to be a problem unless your wood chips are up against your house. If you've got like
wood. When the girls did the film, there was a fire.
Yeah.
The neighbors, and when the fire department came up to put all the fire, they checked their house out. It says the wood chips along your house will make a tremendous a fire safety thing.
Yeah.
Because the fire would never burn in it.
That's cool. Right. Any tips for getting rid of fire ants? Speaking of fire.
Chickens. Chickens are really effective to get rid of ants.
And you can move them through your garden or on top of fire ant mounds with a little chicken tracker.
Little chicken tracker, yes. Move them into the spaces. And I've had people call me. I've recommended that too, and they were amazed how the chickens got everyone. Totally got them all.
All right. I believe that the mulcher used for his mulch is a tub grinder, right?
Originally, yeah, it's a tub grinder.
Mm-hmm. What do they use now?
I don't know what it is, but there's a new machine they have. It's quite a bit smaller and it works a lot faster. I don't know what it's called, but it's just phenomenal how quickly it grinds up material. It doesn't grind it. It actually chips it, but the thing is like really fast. I don't know. Hi,
Where did
Neil.
that question go? Okay. Okay, I'm still doing something wrong. I made raised beds, filled them with wood chips, then organic soil, and planted heirloom seeds. They came up and then stopped growing. So frustrating. Sounds like they mixed up the order of how to layer it.
Yeah. You don't want to. Ideally, you want to plant in the soil. And again, the organic topsoil is questionable, really, what that is. But raised beds will really dry out fast because they're above grade. They're exposed to air, and so they really dry out. And that's why I don't encourage anybody to do raised bed, because it's a major challenge to keep them moist.
Yeah. And it sounds like you put the wood chips down, filled your bed up with that, and then put compost on top, or whatever you said. Yeah, compost, organic soil, and then plant it into that. What you want to do is fill your bed up. If you're going to do a raised bed, fill it up with as much compost and organic soil as you can, and then put chips on top of that. Then when you plant, move the chips aside and plant right down into the soil.
Do we have any old pictures of our place here, Carol?
Old. What's that mean?
That's what they're asking. Old,
I have a picture of the chicken coop, if I can find it.
Ask Nick to picture some old pictures of your farmhouse and family.
Oh man, it's a crack up.
Oh, here's one. This is when you guys built the house.
Oh, cool. Yeah, this
yeah.
is like 1979.
This is like my favorite picture. Oh, what happened?
This picture is 1979, so it's like 40 years ago.
Hopefully it shows up. If not, I can post this stuff. Perfect. Look, that's Paul, right in the middle.
And Carol.
Uh-huh.
And Isaac.
Yeah.
I mean Aaron.
Yeah. That would be the front porch. So funny. All right, let's see. There's another one, Paul. Oh, focus. Hold on. Oh, it worked for a second. Kinda. No, not gonna work. And then here's the chicken coop. That's funny. I'm gonna try to turn it. What's the order? Do you know?
Yeah, this is Devora.
Devora.
This picture here.
Where are you getting these pictures? You stealing my pictures?
No, you pulled them up, and I took pictures of them because they were good.
Did you really?
Yeah. All right. So
that's not Devora. That's Tara. That's Tara and Aaron and Michael Dinius and what's her name's kid? That kid that was just here. I can't remember.
Okay. So that's the chicken coop. You can even see 2 chickens, and then these rocks right there are right next. Anyways, those rocks are right under the plum tree, and there's so much compost and wood chips and all sorts of stuff built up in this area that you can only see like this much of the rocks now. I think that's all I've got. Yeah. All right. Wait, gotta pull the questions back up. Okay, I'm having trouble getting carrots to grow. Just about everything else comes up just fine. I pulled the wood chips back, planted in the dirt about 1/4 of an inch deep. Could my soil need something? If you planted your carrots at 1/4 of an inch deep, that's still way too deep for carrots. They need to be on the surface, and they need to stay damp, like constantly. Anything to add to that?
Yeah, it's real shallow. Germinators, they don't come up in a week. It's like at least a couple weeks, and you got to make sure you keep that soil damp.
Yeah.
Every fall is a nice time to put a cover in the garden or orchard. It's like nature does. If you notice in nature, the creator puts a covering of needles and leaves over the whole planet. And the advantage of that is that during the winter, when you have rain and snow going through it, it creates compost tea to build the soil for next year's growth. So it's this major input into your garden. It's really, really beneficial.
Okay, I'm in Central Florida and am being gifted some fruit trees that are about 5 feet tall tomorrow morning. Fig, nectarine, peach, and orange. Should I not put any next to one another, or is anywhere fine?
Anywhere's fine, but give them space, at least 15 feet, because they're going to grow. And then start growing things under them. The plants growing under them really make the trees grow better.
You guys post on Owen Ben. Who's that? Who is Owen Benjamin?
I don't know.
I don't know who that is.
It wasn't us.
Okay. Have you ever compared notes on the Back to Eden method versus permaculture and regenerative soil methods?
Well, Back to Eden is basically sustainable permaculture, which is what you see in nature.
It's the same thing.
So it's what nature does.
Okay. Do you give tomatoes and tomato plants to your chickens?
I give everything to the chickens, and whatever isn't good for them, they don't eat. Like, for instance, rhubarb leaves, they won't eat those because they're toxic. So they know what's safe and what isn't. So whatever they don't eat, they just tear up and shred and make compost out of it. So everything goes in the chicken pen. They can decide what they want.
Live on YouTube. Cynthia didn't get a letter today, right, Paul? You didn't get it.
And then to add to that, I know some people say you shouldn't give your chickens the plants from the nightshade family.
I'm sorry.
But if there's other stuff for them to eat, they'll go for that, and they'll just scratch up the tomato leaves and whatever, pepper leaves and stuff like that. If they're desperate, they'll eat it, and it can be bad because nightshades for anything are bad. But unless you're a tomato hornworm, then that's about all you eat. It's true.
What is that?
I haven't had any trouble with anything bothering my squash, so I guess I don't have those wars.
Is it coming through? Let's see.
Should be. There's a lot of questions. Is it like alien music? Okay, I have raised gardens that I just put chips on this year, plus 2 lemon trees in pots. You do have to water the same, but the benefits to the soil from the chips seem to be the same.
Yeah, wood chips do benefits whether they're in a pot or flat on the ground. It's just because whatever water goes through creates the compost tea that feeds the soil. So wherever they are, they're inputting a benefit to the soil.
Where are you at, Neil? Like, where are you located? Because normally with a good thick, like 3 to 4 inch covering, you don't have to water as much. Arkansas. Okay, so it gets pretty hot there. Yeah. You probably could use the water.
Hot.
Yeah. Did I miss anything?
No, I'm very covered.
Okay. All right, back to this. Let's see where they go. Do we need to sign up for the tours?
No, just show up on Sunday at 2:30, and you're totally welcome. There's no sign up, and it's just just come.
Am I talking loud enough? Because I feel like I'm whispering. Hopefully you guys can hear me most of the time. I was cutting lavender all day, and that stuff makes me tired. Okay, all 40 of our squash plants have been attacked, but we are only in our first year back to Eden and drenched in rain this year. Squash bugs, what do I tell people for that? Gotta hand pick them. Hand pick the bugs, put them in a little jar of soapy water just to kill them, and then check under every leaf with 40 plants. That's going to be a lot of fun. And make sure you get all the little clusters of eggs and just stay on top of it. Oh, and predatory nematodes, they would actually help with that if you put them down in the fall. The squash bugs, they overwinter as a larva, or no, actually as the beetle underground. And then the predatory nematode will come along and chew its way in and kill them.
You know, in the garden, you want to just put the wood chips in between your plants so you can do it all summer long while they're growing. I don't put wood chips in the chickens because I have so much yard waste that goes there. So I just use all my yard waste in the chicken pen.
What am I using the lavender for? I'm not using it. I was harvesting it for work. You should talk about the lavender festival.
We're having a lavender festival here. I think over 1 million people come to this tiny town. It's scary. And he's harvesting it because they're going to be selling it in the nursery that he works in because people are going to be buying it like crazy.
Yep. I don't even like lavender. I think it's gross. Yet I'm the only one cutting it for some reason.
No, robins are no problem. They're fine.
Yeah. Where do you get predatory nematodes? I get them from a local guy that sells all sorts of organic soil stuff. I'm sure you can get them online. I'm gonna look into that actually.
Wood ashes, I would use as much as you can get because it's such high mineral content. Wood ashes are the most potent mineral substance in the world. They're really beneficial for the soil.
Yep. Your chickens actually eat squash bugs? Mine would never do it. Apparently they can hear me. Sorry. All right. What else? Got the fire ants.
Asparagus sends roots down so deep that I never water it. I mean, the roots go down 14 feet. They're accessing water and minerals that, I can't get to. So once they're established, I do nothing to them. They just totally maintain themselves fine. Aphids are an indication of dehydration. If you water, the aphids will leave. So you can spray. You don't want to be spraying the foliage though on tomatoes because that can cause fungus. So just water the ground real well and get them hydrated, and they'll take off.
To get rid of the aphids, though, you can wash them off with like a really powerful hose, and then if they keep coming back, spray neem oil or even yucca extract, and that'll get rid of them.
You don't want to be spraying tomatoes with water.
If you spray them in the morning,
okay.
You don't want to spray the plant at night. You don't want to water anything at night, really, because then you can encourage like fungus and disease. But if you water everything in the morning, the neem oil and the yucca extract, that'll sit on the leaves. And when the aphids come along and eat that, well, depending on what it is, neem oil, when the aphids eat it, it literally just makes them stop eating. So it doesn't kill them, but it starves them to death. So starvation is what kills them. And then the yucca, that gets into their pores, and then it basically suffocates them. So it's a nice, humane, vegan way to kill them. Just kidding. Do you guys know anything about small black caterpillar-looking things? They destroyed the first garden, which was a botch. But want to avoid them in the new garden. I don't know. There's so many caterpillars.
Yeah, my experience. So when you have healthy, nutrient dense plants, the bugs don't bother them.
Yeah.
So you want to instead of focusing on bugs, focus on getting your plants in good health, and then the bugs aren't an issue. I don't know. Well, something's obviously eating it, but don't worry about it. The leaves are going to fall off this fall anyway. They'll get new ones next year, so it's okay.
The yucca. I'm not sure if it's an oil or what it is. I think it's just, I don't really know. I'd have to look more into it. I've got some of it. I'm experimenting.
When you water is at the end of the day, you look at your plants. If they're looking wilted, you need to water. But make sure it's the end of the day because during the heat of the day, they're going to wilt anyway, whether they're have plenty of hydration or not. But at the end of the day, when it's cool, if they're wilted, water.
Water the ground, not the leaves.
Yeah.
Huge heat wave in southern Kentucky. It's funny. Everybody's dealing with all these high temperatures, and it's only 61 degrees.
Yeah.
It was probably like 65, 67 today, whatever. And I thought it was hot. It's been so cool here lately. I'm turning into a pansy. My cantaloupes do that. I covered the root area with newspaper, and it's so much better. What do they do? Well, have you heard of pouring a line of castor oil around the perimeter to keep the... Yeah, castor oil actually works great for moles. It burns them.
I just caught one this morning in my herb garden. That was great. The trap is really good too. I set the trap like I'm in the morning. I went to put the chickens out, and I came back at noon, and the thing was in it. It was caught. I caught it. It was great.
Okay, the second garden I'm using composted wood chips as that was chips, food, and chicken manure. It's a few inches only so far, but hoping the nutrients will keep the plants healthier than the first. Cool.
Keep it watered. See the compost tea coming off off the wood, that material will feed the plants. So the more water you use, the more nutrients will get in the soil.
You didn't add any bait to your trap, right?
No, it's all about setting the trap. People don't realize how important it is how to set the trap. And let me explain. The mole will have a tunnel. You dig down to it. You want to find where the opening on both sides so it's a straight line. And what I do is I'll take dirt and I pack back into those holes really tight, and I bring dirt right to the level of the top of the hole, and I pack it down and I put the trap there. So the mole's coming through and it pushes dirt out, that triggers a trap. A lot of times we'll just set them, but if the mole hasn't moved any dirt, it's not going to trigger the trap. But when they have to push that dirt to get through, that's going to trick. This morning it was so interesting how I caught him. Like he had just started and the thing caught him right over the neck. I mean, he didn't even get far into the trap before it went off. It was really great.
We are still battling the morning glory, little by little, to get space. What do you recommend that I can still plant right now in Washington?
Well, you can do all kinds of fall crop now. It's all your greens, carrots, beets, and anything for fall. This is the time to plant, broccoli, whatever. So you can plant just about everything right now.
What part of Washington? How often should the composted wood chips need to be watered before it's self-sufficient for the most part?
What you're going to find when you get wood chips, if you pay attention to how much water it takes to saturate them, you can be sitting there with that hose for like an hour and you pull it back, it only went an inch. Wood chips are like the most amazing sponge in the planet. It takes a lot of water. That's why I encourage the fall covering, because then you get all the rain and snow to saturate it, because it takes a lot of water to saturate wood chips.
Paul, I can't find wood chips in my area, but I've been using fall leaves on my vegetable garden for 2 years now. I've really seen a big increase in the health of my plants. Thank you.
Leaves are great. Any organic material, leaves, grass clippings, any material will work. Why like wood chips? It has fungi, but if you can't get it, then all the other stuff is affected too.
Any thoughts on a small family versus a larger family?
Well, the word says, children are arrows on your quiver, so they're an advantage. Again, these are the kind of things you just have to seek God about, depending on who you are and where you are, and so just ask Him. Now, the problem I had is that I didn't want that many children, and God really overrode all my efforts not to have them. So I kind of sensed that, in spite of my wishes, He had other plans. When I'm looking back, I'm thankful for my family. They're great.
All right. Is it best to keep a pile of wood chips piled up and let it compost down before spreading them, or can you just put them?
No, it's ideal to get them where they're going to head up, because you see, whatever water goes through creates compost heat. So for the space you're not using, it's being wasted. So as soon as you can get it to the space you're going to use it is ideal.
What can I put in my yard to keep the frogs off my house and feed?
And feel or feed fit.
How? Hold on. Keep the frogs off my house and fed happy in my yard. Off your house? You have tree frogs or something?
Yeah, I don't have a frog club, so I don't know. We have lots of them out in the pond, but they don't bother my house any.
Just put a light out in your garden. Like, get a bunch of solar lights and kind of stick them all over the place. That'll attract the bugs out into the yard, and the frogs will follow. And keep your porch light turned off.
Isn't it Neme?
Who?
Neem is spelled Neme, or here's the I.
How is neem? Neam.
Okay.
Oh, where do you get neem oil? Who's saying that?
That's Roundup.
I know. Where are they saying that? All over the internet. So sad. Oh, well, yeah, that's because Monsanto and Bayer and all that.
What else can you use?
Vinegar and these things.
Industrial strength vinegar. Tom, not the regular.
Yeah, it's 30% vinegar. That's the cleaning grade. They typically won't sell it to you.
I think it might be a little bit late to plant melons and beans now, depending on where you live. If you're in a warm place, you're probably okay, but not here.
Do you know any midwives in New York?
Yeah, but they're hard to find good ones.
Yeah, but they're hard to find good ones. Okay.
Call me.
She said call her. Did I answer the neem question? I don't remember. You can get it online.
If you put wood chips on top of the ground, they're not going to stunt any plants. The only time you'll have stunting is if you till it in or mix it in. But if you lay it on top of the ground, it's not going to have anything negative. It'll be positive encouragement to the plants.
Unless you lay it on the ground and then still plant in the wood chips. You still want to make sure you plant in the dirt.
They're talking about plants, established plants.
The wood chips okay. Then yeah, I didn't read it. I'm in Florida, so no snow here. Laugh out loud. I've prepared the composted wood chips for the new fall garden. Should I just make sure it stays moist for the first few months before I stop watering?
Yeah, the more water, the better. So if you have access to water, it's not too expensive. It's a real good investment.
Yeah, it is too easy. I'm dyslexic. I don't want to hear it. Neem. Neem. Okay. What's your favorite perennial to get started?
I don't have a lot of perennials. I do mostly by seed. But my nasturtiums, even though they're not a perennial, they're acting like a perennial because they keep reseeding themselves. So they're acting like a perennial. And I like nasturtiums. They make a nice ground cover.
The asparagus, that's a perennial. You can start that from seed. If you want to count a potato as a perennial, if you plant it the way he does, yeah, that would be a perennial. What else? Raspberries, sorrel, strawberries, comfrey, a lot of just different types of herbs. I don't know. There's a lot. Okay, let's see what else is there. I bought some bare root cherry trees and planted them into pots this spring, and then last week the leaves started turning yellow. Not all of them, but about half of them. What could I be doing wrong? Are you watering? And your first problem is they're in pots. Get them in the ground if you can. The cherry tree in a pot doesn't seem too.
Yes, stuff in pots dry out really fast.
Yeah. But if it's bare root, you don't want to water it too much. Make sure you have a real sandy, like, what's the word, substrate, and water like once every 2 weeks. Just check the soil, let it dry out. You want to like encourage root growth.
You cannot stop asparagus from seeding anywhere. When the wind blows, birds carry it, and the seed's vital. So you just got to pull it because it's just, it's just going to happen. There's no way to stop it other than just removing it.
This is a good one. Have you heard not to plant potatoes near some things? Have you found that to be true?
No, but I'll tell you where to plant them is next to trees. That's where we do the best.
My garden is in my suburb backyard, surrounded by turf grass that spread with stolons. They seem to still like to come through the wood chips. Any ideas? Just keep pulling them.
Yeah, I grew up in California. I know St. Augustine. So you want to dig a trench at least 4 inch deep. Put in bender board and make a cement curb, and that'll stop it.
Yeah, cutting asparagus, that's not going to do you any good for getting rid of them. That's just harvesting it.
Yeah, those come back. If you want to get rid of asparagus, you got to dig it out, and you'll be amazed at how deep you have to dig to get it all because the roots go down deep.
Just leave it. Eat it.
Asparagus is good to eat. Yeah, I have asparagus all over my orchard. It's growing up everywhere because it just keeps seeding itself in it. I just leave it, and just when I'm walking through, I just break it off and eat it.
Let's see. Do I have any other questions on here?
What is the question that's being skipped over? I'll answer it.
Yeah. Copy and paste your question. Now I don't have to go find it. Unless I can find it first.
I saw a Colton back. Did you see that?
No, did I miss it?
It was that.
This one?
Yeah.
All right. Please look back for it. All right. Scavenger. Oh, wait. Did he copy and paste it yet? There we go. All right. I'm going on the hunt. Hold on. I don't see it. Ask your question again. Crouton. That's his name, Crouton. Oh wait, here it is. How do you say that? I always screw it up. Verticillium. Yeah, that's it. Is wilt in my orchard. Apricot and peach tree already dead and dying. I don't know how to fix that.
Nutrition. When your plants get well, you're not gonna. I used to have all that stuff in my trees. I don't now. So I know it's about nutrition. So if you just keep building the soil and getting that soil nutrient dense, you're not gonna have disease issues. Here's someone asked me, Kevin, how do you communicate with God, and how do you know when He's speaking to you? That's a great question. I communicate. I ask a lot of questions. I ask God questions, and then I listen. And spontaneous thoughts just come into my mind that I'm not looking for. And to validate if they're God, I always ask for confirmation, because the Scripture says, "The mouth of truth witnesses truth is always validated, confirmed." And so, when you get spontaneous thought and answer to your questions, look for confirmation. When you get confirmation, then you know you're heard. And I would encourage you to start paying attention, because if you'll find that when you start paying attention and you start listening, you'll get more. Because the word says, if you're faithful in little, He gives you more. And it's really awesome hearing from God. He has such great ideas, and He's really, really helpful. So I really encourage you to start developing that ear to hear and pay attention to when He does speak.
Okay, here's a question. Somebody messaged me on Instagram just now. I'm going to send her a video as the reply, and so you guys hear it. Let's see. All right. Does Mr. Paul actually like doing these live streams?
Sure, this is great. I enjoy it. Thank you.
Yeah. You've even waited for me a few times
to
get in here because I forget about him. He's like, oh, don't you want to do the live stream? Okay. Let me send that to her. There we go. All right. Who had the carrot thing? Oh, here it is. Yeah, when you plant carrots, you really don't have to go that deep. Like, just like a dusting of soil on top of the seed, just to keep a little extra moisture on top.
I threw a big handful under my pear tree, just in the wood chips, and all coming up great. I didn't even bury them.
When I plant carrots, I literally just sprinkle them on the dirt where I want them, and then water them in. The water is enough pressure just to set the seed into like a little crack into the soil, and they'll come up. As long as they stay damp. If they dry out for like a couple minutes, they're just not going to do good.
Wood chips didn't cause rick and wilt, and wood chips will do nothing damaging to anything. If you look at the forest, which is composed of nothing but wood chips, there are no issues. There's no disease issues. The whole weird idea of thinking wood chips cause problems is completely ridiculous, because there's no evidence.
How do you like to support your tomatoes? Do you prune the suckers?
No, and I all I do is I have a post, and when I come up, I'll tie the first bit leader off of it. Everything else just falls where it falls. Now, out in the orchard, we have tomatoes growing really great, and they're not supported at all, and they're doing just fine.
Carol, do you have a scrap piece of paper handy?
They're asking for that?
No, I am.
Oh. Yeah.
Because it's about tomato pruning. I don't know how to explain it and make it easy enough, so I'm just going to draw it out real quick. Because hardly anybody actually knows how to prune tomatoes properly. Thank you.
Oops, sorry.
I don't know what the zone is here.
So,
I think it's
7 to 8.
7B.
7B.
I'm actually an artist, so pretend this looks like a tomato plant. All right, so here's your ground. Here's your main stem. Here's your leaves. At the crotch of the leaves, see if I can do this looking at the camera, there's going to be a little sucker. Not going to work. Okay. A sucker sprouts up. That's actually not a sucker. Everybody wants to cut this off. If you cut this off, you'll have one straight stem and nothing branching off of it. This is a branch. So this will grow into a branch, and there's going to be multiple branches off your main stem. So you've got your trunk, and then you've got your branches, and then these are leaves. And then your suckers are the little twigs that come off of your branches. and along your branches, there's still going to be leaves. This is a rough sketch. So this would be a leaf on your branch. And then this is a sucker. Prune your sucker, because you'll really significantly reduce your harvest if you prune all of your branches off and just have one stem. If you want to do one stem, that's great. If you're in a greenhouse or something, you cram a bunch of plants in a small area. But if you've got the space, let your branches grow. Trust me. I've grown a lot of tomatoes. Yes.
I had 2 tomatoes out in my herb garden. Covered an area. What do you think? Footage.
It was like 10 by 20.
10 by 20.
It
and it was just crazy, but it was just tons of tomatoes, it took the place over. Just let it grow.
But then again, that's also, what do they call it? Sun golds. Sun golds, they're just like known for
crazy
taking over. I put my carrot seeds on the surface, lightly water, and then put a board covering them until, yeah, that works great. Covering them with like a sheet of cardboard just to keep the moisture there. And as soon as they germinate, take the cardboard off so they can get some sunlight. You still keep them wet.
I don't know how vermicompost gets into the soil, and it could have well come with the potting soil it was in. So, but I'm really convinced that if you get nutrient dense soil, it's going to leave. It'll clean up. Isn't that awesome how when you create a healthy environment, how all of nature shows up? I love that. You put those leaves down and all of a sudden the worms just come in like in a flood. You didn't import them, but nature knows when a place gets healthy, they show up.
They say it's like the best soil in the world, but after 100 years of conventional agriculture and just all the crap people have done to the planet, the soil here isn't that much better than it is anywhere else. You can make it better. Yeah. Let's see.
No, that's great. I just tell people lay potatoes on top of the ground, even on grass, and put witches over it, and you're good. You never have to bury the potatoes.
Are my potato leaves turning brown because of the lack of nitrogen?
Or lack of water.
Either that or they're just ready to harvest.
Or they could be ready to harvest, yeah. So if they're turning brown, it's time to harvest, no matter what. So just pull the foliage out and get your potatoes out.
It's funny. My friend Greg in California, remember he sent me all these pictures of his potato plants, and they were all dead and ugly looking. He was like, I'm freaking out. Like, I don't know what I did. I killed all my potatoes. And I was like, just pull them. And then he pulled them, and he got like a 5-gallon bucket full of potatoes. He was like, I didn't even know that's how they grew. He was all excited. It was funny. Good. Never water the leaves.
We have a lot of bees. I got mason bees, and if you walk out there, my raspberries and they're blooming, the place just hums. So I don't know how you felt there's a lack here.
There might be.
Wait, where is that comment?
I was surprised at the lack of bees. In my area this year. Okay. If you have lack of bees, make a point to have things flowering in your yard all the time. Bees are attracted to flowers, and so plant a lot of flowers. Your plants, cucumbers and stuff, flowers. I actually grew a Mediterranean pink heather that blooms all winter. And then my witch hazel blooms in winter. So as much as possible, make sure you have things blooming in your yard, and you'll find bees will start showing up. They're drawn to flowers.
Onions, I would plant no deeper than 1/4 of an inch. Depending on your soil. If you've got really dense clay soil, plant them shallow. But if you've got nice fluffy soil like Paul has in his garden, then you can go 1/4 of an inch deep. They'll push up through it. Carrots, you definitely want on the surface.
Yeah, good. The wood chip cover is just hard to beat. You know, just it's going to hold water and bring in nutrients. It's just the best. Yeah, I'm sorry about your potatoes. But this, you know, go plant in another place next time, and just keep at it. You'll get goings. Nick, do you pickle any of your produce?
Heck yeah. I like dilly beans. Dilly beans are great. Pickles are great. I make a ton of pickled jalapenos. Well, I did when I was back home.
Well, I want you to make them this time.
I know, but it's been too cold. My jalapeno plants out there are like,
Oh no.
they're not liking it.
Shoot.
I'm trying.
If your garden soil's too moist for lavender, put wood chips over it, and that'll. I tell you, I have a heavy clay soil, which is just the wettest stuff in the world. My lavender's doing great. Wood chips change it all.
Where's the first part of this question? Found it. Okay. I have trouble with my companion planting, corn and beans. The beans are yellow at the beginning of the vine. Well, what do you mean by the beginning of the vine? Like the base of the vine or like the new growth at the top of the vine? Depends on which way you want to
yellow's either indication of too much water or lack of nitrogen.
Yeah.
So get wood chips around it.
Yeah. And then it says
it's a good time to get your clothes off. Starting to rain.
Is it really? I'm so out of it. Where'd it go? It could be a lack of water, but the soil isn't great. Began with cedar mulch at the beginning of spring. Here's the thing with, okay, Paul will tell you, talk about your cedar and walnut and all that. Well, and I want to add to it.
Well, you know, again, in nature, God doesn't take anything off the plant. Everything composts and turns back to dirt. So I haven't had a problem with any wood chips being, you know, negative.
Yeah. But all of your, okay, so all of your big, like normal size arborist wood chips go in the orchard, right?
Yeah.
You don't have that in your garden.
Yeah, the stuff in the garden is screened.
And it's composted.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm just clarifying this for you guys to understand. So a lot of people, like a ton of people, get confused about it. So cedar and walnut and pine to some degree have a root inhibitor in it. That's why if you look under the trees, only certain plants in nature can survive in that root inhibitor. If you chip up those trees, the same chemical from the tree is going to be in the wood chips. And you put that on your annual vegetable garden, that root inhibitor is going to be in the soil. And for the first few inches, when the plants are getting established, it's going to really affect your annual plants, unless it's composted. If it's composted, then it's fine. It'll be fine. But I personally don't use walnut or cedar in my vegetable garden because of that reason. But you can use it in an orchard. It's not going to hurt the trees. The trees will be fine. Just your annuals won't like it for a while. I'm too tired. I could have explained that a lot better, but
I didn't hear you.
Oh,
Sure
okay, you're not laughing at me. Good.
No.
Laughing at somebody else. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. Yeah, started at the base of the vine, just coming out of the ground like.
No.
Okay, so it's the leaves at the base of the ground. So that's fine. Beans do that. They lose their leaves. They don't last forever. You're all good.
No, the roots going in the wood chips are just saying, man, there's food over there. I'm going for it. You know, you don't have to worry about it. They'll be great. because the roots are spread all over the place, and just keep, the wood chips are in an aerated place, and it attracts, root growth, so they're fine.
Does Paul avoid canning food since it is high heat cooking? I'm curious if he ferments his foods or if he just eats raw in season most of the time.
Yeah, I do. I don't can at all because you bring the food to really high temperature to kill all the enzymes and all the food values in the water you pour off. If I've got to preserve something, I'll dry it, because you dry food, you maintain 95% of the food value. But in most cases, I have stuff fresh in the garden all year long, so I just harvest, fresh, because it's just the easiest.
When it comes to canning, for me, I don't can everything. A lot of people just, I gotta can the whole garden, save it for the winter time. I don't do all that. Sometimes I'll make spaghetti sauce with the tomatoes I grow, because you're not going to be able to grow tomatoes all winter long. And if you want to have spaghetti or something with spaghetti sauce or tomato sauce in general, instead of having to go to the store and buy it, it's a lot better when you grew it yourself. So I'd can that. Maybe pickles if you like pickles, but it's best to dry it. Yes.
What about radish worms?
Did your radish worms go away now, or what are you planning to do with them? I'm just gonna be honest with it. I don't think it was entirely just the radishes. I think it was the seed. I think it all came from the seed. This year I used Baker Creek. I mean, I don't want to badmouth Baker Creek, but their seed did not do good for me this year. It was bad. Everything I planted from Baker Creek either bolted right away or it was attacked by bugs. So I don't know what to say about that. Yeah, because I planted, what did I plant? What were they? White egg turnips right next to all my other turnips, and those were seed that I saved myself for my garden back home, and they didn't even get touched with the root maggots, but all the root crops from Baker Creek all got chewed up and got all gross. So I don't know. I don't know what I want to say about that. But diatomaceous earth, that helped a lot for a little bit. What else?
Let's just say nobody answers her question.
Hello. I has a question. Would you answer, because nobody ever does? Well, what's your question? I might has an answer. What am I planning to do with what? Oh. Yeah.
Oh, Amy, it's awesome. At 92, you're doing a garden. That is amazing. They have these glasses. They're called pinhole glasses. You can find them on the internet, and I'll tell you, they're phenomenal for improving your vision. You can put those on and read totally perfect, because what it does, it forces your eyes to focus. And I encourage you to get those and read with them. You'll be amazed at how your vision will improve.
This person just wants to be dumb. How do I'm going to put you in timeout. How about that? Well, that was fun. No, I just put her in timeout. I don't think that was, I think that was one of those trolls out there.
But, peppers need a lot of heat. So I don't know where you live, but that could be an issue. But when I was in California, I grew peppers and eggplant because it was hot there, and they like the heat.
Where do you get your Olympic blueberries?
Olympia. It's Olympia, and I get it from a place, Burnt Ridge Orchard and Nursery in Onalaska, Washington. You can look them up on the internet, and they have really nice stock.
Paul, are you having any tomato fungal issues this year?
I sure did. They took out 2 of my tomatoes. They were totally huge and totally actually had fruit, and they're gone. But you know what's cool about that? It was an awesome demonstration of how awesome things grow in the trees, because all the tomatoes under my trees are having no fungal issues. And it was the same rain that took out all the ones out, all the ones that all were affected didn't affect the ones under the trees. So I'm really motivated to plant under the trees.
You have a favorite variety of strawberry to grow? You don't know the name of it. The one by the herb garden. Right?
No, someone gave me that, and I don't know the name, but it's awesome. And
it's so good.
But what I find though is that the ever-bearing ones don't taste as good as the June berries. One that just bear once a year have better flavor than the ever-bearing.
Always.
Do you have a place you recommend for seeds? I just have it in a big box in my shed in envelopes, and they stay fine.
I think it's to order seeds.
For order. One of my favorite places is Fedco Seeds in Maine. They're really, I've had such good success with them. They're really honest. They give you a real history where everything came from, and they've just been really a good source for a long time. I'm thankful for Fedco.
And I've experimented with a bunch of smaller companies. Like I've used Southern Exposure Seed, Territorial. Oh, who's the other ones? I don't know, a bunch of them.
You like Territorial.
I really like Territorial.
And
the only thing is the seed, there's not as much seed in a packet anymore. I feel like they used to throw more seed in the packets. Not anymore.
My friend Edie, who is lived to be almost 100 years old, that's where she always got her seeds from, Territorial.
Really?
Yeah.
I think she's dead.
But yeah, Edie always got Territorial seeds.
How did you like Southern Exposure? I really liked them. I thought they were cool. It's a cool company. They were good. Good seed.
It's a great name.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty good seed. Yeah, Territorial's online.
It'll be good to see your family, Greg.
Oh, Greg, you're coming?
Yeah.
Why am I just now hearing about this?
Right there,
Greg?
August 4th.
Greg, what's it? Okay, remember Greg? He came up here, took him to Hurricane Ridge. I'm trying to tell you about the well story, but it's not coming back to my head. He was looking at that property and he said, "Oh, I've got the property has a pump house."
The people from Orange County.
The ones I was just talking about with their potato problem. Yep.
Are you going to buy property up here, Greg?
Yeah. You better. All right. What's next? I plan to come next year and visiting my husband. Cool. He said, "We're looking. Look harder." It's like, I'm just kidding. How would you deal with fire blight on pear trees? Wood chips.
Yeah, just again, so much of the allopathic medicine is treating symptoms. You want to get the tree in health. When the tree's in good health, issues clear up. And again, the fire blight, all that stuff just is affecting the leaves, and they're going to fall off this fall. And so ideally get rid of the leaves, don't leave them lay there, because that'll just cause it to, be able to multiply. But just get that ground good, and it'll leave.
Thank you, Dave. You guys, everybody go and like button. There's 49 people watching right now, so if everybody goes and hits it right now, that would help. That'd be pretty good. It'd be nice. Get a bunch of likes.
I prune all summer. All the little suckers that happen in the center of the tree, I get rid of. And as soon as they show up, I rub them off. And I've never seen any. I'm an arborist. I've been doing it for 40 some years, and I've never seen any issue with time of year pruning. Like I said, I've done everything all through the year, and I've never seen a problem. So I don't know the stuff they tell you got to do stuff at certain times. It makes no sense to me.
The busy little house, was she?
Yeah, she finally popped in. You're late. I was just thinking, I was like, where's my mod? And there you are. Thanks for coming back.
Busy little house.
Did Paul ever smoke, drink, and if so, how did he do it?
How did he do it?
Yeah,
when I got out, I didn't do anything
With
prior
his
to,
mouth.
prior to Vietnam, but after I got out of Vietnam, I started smoking marijuana, took LSD and mescaline, and destroyed my memory. Became a basket case. And the only thing I couldn't forget was scripture, and God used the word to bring me back to Him. And as I began memorizing scripture, God restored my memory. All my memory came back, because the word says it will renew your mind. And I'm telling you from personal experience, it's true. God's word renews your mind. It's awesome.
You see that, Amy Whitaker? I started a BTE Facebook group for East Texas and include most of Texas. Would love to have either of you to help answer questions. Anyone who joins must watch your film and answer questions. You guys jump.
How do you respond to Amy's?
Did you just see what I read?
Is that what you wrote?
Amy Whitaker.
No.
Right there.
She started Back to Eden Face group.
Yeah, I think I saw that. Maybe. I don't know. Is there questions? Either of you to help answer questions. Anyone who joins must watch.
Paul doesn't. Paul is a Luddite. Do you guys know what a Luddite is? That's someone that is anti-technology. And this guy to the left of him isn't much better. But in faith, they both kind of try to do their thing.
Who would have thought Paul would ever be on a live stream every other week?
He wouldn't have done it with me, I'll tell you that. Luddite is averse to technology. Exactly, slap weasel.
Nick needs to get some sleep.
Ideally, you shouldn't be moving trees now. You should wait till they're dormant. If you move them now, they're going to stress out big time.
Nick's
so
fine.
If you could wait till fall, it'd be much better.
Huh? I got cabbage worms. Any advice?
BT, that works.
What's that? Define it.
I'm trying to. I don't remember what it stands for, but it's
BT.
BT. It's darn. Anyways, it's a soil bacteria. You mix it with water and you spray it on the leaves. It won't kill you. It's not going to hurt you at all. But when the caterpillar eats the leaves, it causes the caterpillar to throw up, and caterpillars can't throw up, so they just die.
It's called Bacillus thuringiensis.
That's why I can't remember the name.
Soil bacteria, nematodes, protozoa, bacteria, and fungi in the soil.
Kevin, you're so right. It was really hard, and all those issues you mentioned are real. But for me, I had a vision, and I knew Los Angeles was no place to raise a family, and I'm so thankful.
We saw what's happening coming.
But it wasn't easy. It wasn't easy, but I'm telling you, it was worth it.
Who's this, Kevin?
Has the weird weather affected your garden this year?
No.
Yes, it has. Are you kidding?
In what way?
Are you kidding? It blew up our tomatoes.
Oh, yeah.
Caused all kinds of.
Yeah, the tomatoes got wiped out. I don't know. I always flow with life.
What do you think?
But my sense is you just go with what happens.
You just go with the flow.
So I just roll with it. So I'm not. Oh, this is a bad day. That was. It's just what it is. And
he's right, because he just always says, "Well, this thing failed," and so. But this year, I feel like it's been exceptional when it comes to bummers. I mean, Paul's go with the flow, and it's really cute, and I love him for it. But at the same time, if for him to say it hasn't affected our garden, I'm just like,
it's
what?
Funny. I was going like this. He's like, no.
It hasn't affected his attitude. How's that?
Yeah.
Which is a good thing.
Have you guys ever watched the movie The Wilderness Family?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, those are cool. I like that.
We did when our kids
Yeah,
were little.
that's like them. It's like a documentary about them before they even moved here.
Not
Are
really.
you kidding? This family in LA gets tired of the city. They move to the bush and they build a log cabin. And they befriend a bear.
Yeah, I was gonna say we didn't do the bear.
Yeah, he did.
We had a
In a
bear.
way.
We had a bear on,
Oh,
on
we
our
had a-
porch.
Yeah.
We had a bear on our porch and we had a bear in our garden every year, and it was the biggest bear in Western Washington. What was it like? Stretched out on the back of a
Okay, who is
cab
this
with his leg-
crouton person?
Crouton?
Yep, they're asking me
Why
about
are
my
you
hat.
wearing a hat indoors? That's what I
it's
want.
my yarmulke. It's grounding. Holds me down to earth.
He'll take it off someday, I promise.
Okay, if I hit 1 million subscribers, I'll take my hat off.
Forever?
No, I don't care that much about YouTube.
Well, it ain't worth it.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
yeah. This is my signature. It's my PNW look.
No.
Get me to 1 million subscribers, and I'll take my hat off for that live stream.
Yes, we have coyotes here. They killed several of my sheep. It was sad.
And lots of my cats.
Yep. And the chickens. The chickens are dropping off lately.
Baruch
Something's taking
Eloheinu.
We don't know who
So
did it,
happy
though.
for the time difference between East Coast and West. Baruch Eloheinu. Who's that?
So what's the business house saying no to?
I don't know. What are you saying no to?
Who?
Busy little house.
It's Karen, right? I think it's Karen. I'm terrible with names. Bob and Wendy. No to the dead animals. Yeah, that's a big old no.
No to the dead.
Yeah, she's saying like no because all the animals were dead because of coyotes or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, from North Carolina.
What I'm planning now is like plant carrots for winter. I'm gonna continue to plant lettuce, spinach, arugula, that kind of thing. Because for the fall.
Yep, we lost some chickens. And the rooster. The big old
My rooster, it was a
roostino.
cool rooster. I miss him.
So sad.
Yep.
Yeah, deer is a serious problem. They're hard on my trees. I need to get a good dog. No, I haven't got a new dog yet.
We need real prayer about this dog thing. It's been traumatic today. We had a dog event.
Yeah, I was getting calls at work, all sorts of stuff.
It's getting freakouts at work.
She called me Nick. And then I responded, "What's wrong?" Yeah.
Can I bring you a new rooster?
Where are
from?
you?
What kind of rooster? That's kind of.
And where are you?
Where's the question?
We have a new dog, but it's not really effective in getting the deer away. It's a sweet dog, but it's just not a good deer removing dog.
And that's Willow. We love Willow, but not for deer.
Favorite bush fruit? I guess blueberries.
Yeah.
Or
What else?
Pow Pow or Pawpaw.
That's a tree.
Hmm.
What was I gonna say? I don't know. I don't remember.
Aw, Derek, that's
What was your
sweet.
question again? How do I keep?
You need a Rottweiler. My neighbors said they'd shoot it if we got one.
How about the grain price increase coming soon to a market near you?
Do you think about that?
What market?
Grain
The
price.
what?
A grain price increase.
Grain? I don't really. We try to stay away from grain. I don't think it's all that healthy.
You don't need grain. Who cares about grain?
Well, I mean, it depends on. I mean, sometimes we care about grain, but it's like it's not all that.
You know,
great
someone
for
wrote a
us.
biography for me. It's David Devine, Growing Food God's Way. For me to write an autobiography, it would be some doing. Because see, if I got to write a book, I can't focus on my garden and orchard because I'm not a multitasker. So for me to write, that would
You're
be.
not really a writer either.
And my wife tells me I'm not a writer anyway.
Well, he used to be. He used to do a lot of things that he doesn't do now. So I'm not sure he would be able to do it.
Everybody says I need to write a book.
Well, everybody's when they have. Yeah, you should. When you have something to say, you should write a book for sure. Okay, what's this person saying? I understand not addressing my questions. Love her
I
ear.
think that was just about
Yeah,
the grain. I don't
my
know.
Labrador we had Labradors and they were wonderful dogs. I'm hoping to get another one because they've been really great.
I love Willow too. I'd probably scare her with my fan mobbing.
You need a golden retriever.
No,
Is that what they said?
we have one. They
Aw.
don't work.
Not for what we have, what we need. She's a lap dog. It's like both of our dogs are too sweet to be protective.
The Adventures of Nick's Hat. My old hat, that one had a lot more adventures. Trust me.
Yeah, we've been enjoying good health. Thank you, Derek.
Any tips on how to keep mulberry trees short?
No, they grow fast. They're hard
Just
to
lop
contain.
Cut them to the ground and just have a bush. That's
They'll-
actually a good idea.
Yeah, you'll
Have to plant that tree.
busy.
Every year, if you cut them back, like close to the ground, just let them branch out, you'll get like a mulberry bush. That'll keep it short. Because mulberries are like figs, they only grow on like new growth. How many years does it take to get fruit on a new fruit tree?
Depends on your soil. When I first came, it took 4 to 6 years. Now when I plant a tree, I get 30 apples the first year. It's all about nutrition. I totally get it. I don't ever leave the moles in the ground. I don't know if it really works. I just give my chickens, but my trap is really effective, and I don't ever have any problem not getting them.
He's a pro at it. He gets like he's just a pro at getting them. How many years does it take to get fruit on new fruit trees?
I answered that.
We just got that one.
Sorry.
Ugh.
Stop. Gosh, stop
Hey, look at that. We're at 35 likes. Out of 46 people watching, that means some of you haven't liked it. Get to work. $36 now. Cool. How big are gophers?
Well, depends
I
on
don't know.
they can grow. They don't get real huge, but they're good size. But what a bummer about gophers is they eat roots. They'll kill trees.
Yeah.
They're really hard on plants.
I never had gophers back.
We don't have them here either. We have them in California, but not here.
Thicker than moles.
Yeah, they are.
Do they taste good?
I don't know.
Oh gosh, you're sick. This guy's too much of a carnivore for me.
Understanding of God's grace. God's grace is the empowerment to live a godly life. That's what's awesome about it. You know, people use grace as kind of a license to sin, which is not what it's all about, but it's the ability, the power to live a godly life. And I'm so thankful for his grace.
What do you feed chickens in the winter?
Grain, whole grain.
Organic whole grain. Locally sourced organic whole grain.
Or I have a lot of kale. If I have a lot of kale, I can give that to them too. Any greens you have will work. But if there's not enough, I mean, the grain really helps.
We have groundhog. There's no groundhogs here.
No, we have little squirrels and chipmunks.
I love groundhog.
To eat them?
Yeah. Sorry, I do. Oh well. Hey, if they eat my garden, that means they're gonna be really tasty. Right?
You're just a carnivore, boy.
That's how I look at it. Nick's groundhog burgers. That sounds pretty good.
Oh,
Groundhog
geez.
burger. Might get like 3 or 4 burgers out of each one, but
No, I don't have a connected dots T-shirt. I'm sorry.
Do you have some tools or techniques you use for studying the Bible?
what's that book? I can't. What's the name?
We're
kind of-
taking Nick
There's a
through
really cool book out by
Behind
called
Life in Christ.
Life in Christ by
Tony
Salerno.
Salerno.
It's really, really beneficial.
But we normally just read our Bible, but it's
I sense, again, the Holy Spirit was given to us to lead us into all truth, and so I just want to be open to the Spirit when I read. And again, the word, is only one English word, but there's 3 Greek words. And the word rhema is when you're reading the word and something just stops you, gets your attention. You need to memorize that and get it in your heart, because God's going to use it all through your life to really, really bless you. And so pay attention when you read for the rhema word and really hold on to it, because it's going to be a major benefit.
Who's 611 Craig Road?
Huh? I'm tired.
Baked groundhog with sage and spicewood.
Sounds delicious.
Dave, you and Nico could go live together. It's not okay.
You ever had groundhog?
No.
You're missing out. What about muskrat? It's dark meat. It's good.
Lack of watering or it could be just poor soil. Corn is a really heavy feeder. It takes a lot of nitrogen out of the ground. And so many times if it's yellow, it's just because there's not enough food for it.
If it's lack of water, it'll be the tips that are turning yellow. If the whole leaf is turning yellow from the center of the leaf out, then it's nitrogen. Or a nitrogen deficiency.
The best time to harvest carrots is when they're big enough to eat.
Yeah. Look at your seed packet. Every carrot variety matures at different times. Nick, how old are you? I just turned 20 in May. Yep. Groundhog tastes rather earthy. Well, it's back to Eden.
You're going to get us in trouble with
joking.
the vegans again.
I'm joking.
Jeez.
There's just too many hot-headed ones out there. They just have to learn to take a joke and accept others for who they are. I eat meat. Okay? Don't kill me.
There's no problem with the roots growing in the wood chips. That's, again, it's a full, fully aerated, nice place to live, so they're going to spread into them, so it's a problem. And, you don't need that add bone meal. These questions, if you just simply go to nature, where in nature is God adding bone meal? It's just, it's okay. It's a good material, but it's not necessary. It's, the ground will eventually get healthy on its own.
The bone meal isn't high in nitrogen, anyways. That'd be blood meal.
Bone meal is more of the phosphorus.
Yeah, and calcium. Or wee and water. Okay.
You know, those two tools are all you need for pruning. You just take care of them; they'll last you for life. You'll love them.
Samurai Saw and Felco pruners. Those you got some good tools, buddy. Link to what book?
The Life in Christ book.
I don't tell him you can. I think you can only get it used.
I wonder if we get it online. Like, I wonder if there's like an ebook.
I don't know.
Somebody should look into that.
I don't know if the Life in Christ is still in print. I know you can get them used, but I don't know if it's still in print.
It's a lot of used ones, folks. I don't like the brown one. Get the brown one.
Is it My Life or just Life?
Life.
Just Life.
I'm going to post a used one.
You don't want to mix wood chips into the soil. Lay it on top. Never mix. If you look at nature, the creator never mixes anything. When you mix wood chips into the soil, you stress the soil out big time. It ties up all the nitrogen trying to break that down. And so it's the most detrimental thing you can do. So just lay the wood chips on top. Don't ever mix it in.
What else? Questions? More questions.
There's one for you to I don't know how you want to answer it, but
that's so weird. People are so weird.
What?
Who asks that?
What?
Nothing.
I don't know.
We'll tell you later. Stupid.
What was it? Was it for you, Nick?
No, it's not. It's not something you want to respond to.
I'm just gonna delete it because people are dumb.
What they say?
I'll tell you later.
Is it a woman?
I don't know.
I don't know what it was. It's probably one of those things you can't figure out what it is. You know, nowadays how people are. They can choose.
Now in Las Vegas, if you're going to be there for a while, plant fruit trees and really encourage them to grow because you'll have shade to grow stuff under, and that'll be a real blessing for you.
Thoughts on Trump? Is he racist?
I appreciate Donald Trump. I'm thankful for him.
Amen.
We just lost 40 followers.
40 followers I didn't need.
I think differently. I think that he's blowing it in some ways, but in other ways, he's been good.
I think he's better than the others.
I think he's better than the others.
You know, again, the question about stuff in the soil, I always go to nature. Nowhere in nature is anything mixed into soil. It's all layered. And I just find from experience you can't improve on that.
I agree, Dave.
Dave. Oh.
I don't know. His name's Dave. Dave 215. All right. Any more questions? We're at an hour and a half. That was quick.
Look at busy little houses deleting messages from NK.
Good. She's doing her job over there.
I want to do it too.
You can. I made you a moderator.
You're not. I'm not.
I did. You just have to do it. Okay, so go to, like, put your little scrolly thing, whatever it is. What's it called? A cursor. Put it over the comment. You'll get 3 little dots.
Mm-hmm.
Click that.
Mm-hmm.
And then it says report, remove, put user in timeout, hide user on this.
Okay. Time out.
Yeah. All right. Hi, everyone.
Just got here and I forgot. I was always forgotten on it. But here's something for you. I think Nick and Carol need to do the hoedown challenge. I think you would make it a kick. What's that hoedown challenge?
Anyway, tomatoes, that's just their issue. They don't do well getting water on foliage, and it's just their personality. So you just have to deal with it.
Strawberries in Florida with brown spots all over them. Any idea what that might be?
Do you?
I don't really know. Is it on the leaves? Okay, here's practice. You can block Susan A. The 3 dots. Hey, you're getting it. Just block her.
What does rape mean?
What does rake mean?
How come she doesn't know how to spell it?
Well, that's because she's immature. Put user in timeout.
I just deleted the message.
Carol, how can I contact you regarding the midwife in New York?
Go
to your website. What's your website?
Yeah.
Gentlebirth.com?
Gentlebirthsplural.net.
Net.
Or message me privately on Facebook.
Yes.
If you're on Facebook. And what part of New York? Because there's just the sparse. Yeah, yada yada.
Thank you, Tim.
What varieties of tomatoes do you guys prefer?
I really like the Sun Gold. It's really a great flavor.
Yeah, because it's not that hot here.
We can't grow, big ones because it's not that warm, but that one gets really abundant and there's a lot of them.
We've got tomatoes about yay big under the fruit trees. There's like a cluster of like 3 or 4 of them together, and they're like baseball size right now under a fruit tree in the orchard.
What's her name? Karen? Your moderator?
Yeah. Why are there so many wackos on here tonight?
There's more?
Yes.
Serial rapist? I'll get rid of her.
I think I did. Okay, if you have questions and they're not answered in this, you can send them to me. I don't know. I want to figure out like the best way to collect questions over the course of 2 weeks. That way I can just look at the list on my phone and ask them. So I don't know. I did a post on Facebook, Back to Eden Gardening Group or whatever it is, and that seemed to work really well. I might do that again. So maybe just keep looking for a post after this live stream, and we'll go with that. I don't know.
Anyway, the question about slugs and snails, I have lots of them here, but they don't bother my plants because my plants are well. So you don't want to focus on bugs or snails. You want to focus on getting your plants in good health. And then when they're in good health, the bugs and slugs will bother them.
Do mosquitoes come out where you live at night?
Sure.
They didn't used to. We used to have huge family of bats in our roof. And then we changed our roof from a shake roof to a metal roof, and we lost all our bats, and we didn't never had mosquitoes. But now we have mosquitoes. Not a lot, but some.
Yes, you prune the trees all the same way. It's an art form. It's not like my pear trees all look like apple trees because their natural inclinations grow straight up. I won't put up with it, and so I just train them to spread, and they all look the same. And so it's just pruning is a principle, and it affects everything you prune. You prune it with the same principle.
You're welcome, everybody that says thank you.
Did you see Mama Lit's comment?
What did she say? Baby's name is River, born last year. What is that for?
The comment before that, her other comment.
What was the other comment?
Carol, I was adopting out extra roosters, and last week one of them went to one of your mothers. It was fun to stand in my back to Eden garden with them and talk about you and Paul and the garden. The baby's name was River, born last year. They just moved to Duval. Is it Duval or Duval? I think it's Duval. That's what I thought. Yeah.
Duval.
Duval.
I know. Duval.
From the south, it's Duval.
It must be Duval.
Duval, lupine. What's the other one I say? Lupine.
Lupine. I don't know, but you don't know what you're talking about.
Whatever.
No, we love him anyway. He just even if you don't know how to talk and he's got an accent.
I do know how to talk.
You do not know how to talk.
Oh, it's tour.
Tour. That's it. We're gonna go on a tour.
There's a tour every Sunday.
No. I don't want to tell you the analogy. I tell him not to do it, but
she tore
at the birth, but never in my practice. We don't have one of those. Anyway.
It's a tour, not a tour.
Tour.
Yeah, the question about whatever material you have, whether it's grass clippings or leaves or whatever, just lay on top and you're good. Yeah, you prune the citrus trees the same way. You always make clean cuts, and you just open it up and make sure you get light and air in it. And it's simply arranging, make everything fit. Nothing crossing through or going across. Everything coming up and out of the tree.
So many women have to get C-sections nowadays because I think one of the biggest reasons is our cultures do not understand what birth was created to be. And another answer, in my opinion, is there's a lot of fear around it. Women aren't as strong as they used to be. I hate to say it in some ways. And also the hugest thing is poor nutrition. And I'm talking holistic nutrition, mental, emotional, and physical nutrition. So that's my opinion about why, and then plus it's much more lucrative to do a cesarean. And then women are starting to believe that they're, incapable. And also they want to schedule when they're going to have their baby as opposed to being, allowing the process to happen. Like I said, I think the bottom line is poor nutrition, holistic poor nutrition, and just women not believing anymore, and the doctors conceding to the easy way because it's much more lucrative.
Anyway, the pear tree, that's just the nature of pears to go straight up. So just keep working with it as you've done, and just keep, pruning it the way you want it to go. And so when little suckers start developing in places you don't want them, rub them off when they're little. Don't let them develop. Just totally keep up with it and just keep your tree in shape.
And a lot of women are really afraid. If they've got emotional issues around their birth, if their partner's not being supportive, there's just so many things that cause women not to progress in labor.
This one?
Yeah. This one.
River. I don't know. I do so many births for people.
Okay. My next tour is Sunday at 2:30.
A few people have filmed the tour so far this year. I don't know. It's a lot of work to film and edit the whole tour. Tour. It's a tour.
He's from the east.
East side.
tour, not
Oh,
tour.
it's a tour.
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 Stop.
Tour. Tour. What was I talking about?
We need more thumbs up, you guys. Can you thumbs up us, please?
Getting greedy. It's like, I'm just kidding.
No, what you prune 1/3 of the tree once a year. No, not you can't do it twice.
I know it's very sad about cesareans, you guys. I mean, at the very least, if you pray, we need to pray that there's some changes in this country. That we've got the most ominous infant and maternal mortality rate in this country, and we're supposed to be the most industrialized, sophisticated country and nation, and we've got terrible, terrible, outcomes.
Let's go have a see, or let's go look at what?
Let's go have a look-see.
Let's go have a look-see.
What?
That's in the South.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you say?
Let's go have a look-see.
Who said this?
What else do I say? I say some other stuff.
Oh, thanks. I must have 20 to 30 suckers going up. What's that mean? Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
just
so much
when you
for
have
taking my
those suckers
questions.
happening,
God bless you.
rub them out when they're little. Don't let them develop because you don't want them. You don't want them there. So just stay on top of it.
Thank you, Kevin. We really appreciate you praying for us and our dog. It's kind of scary. Can you prune 1/3 of the tree in summer and 1/3 of the tree in winter?
No, once a year.
Just do it once a year. I even know the answer to that. You shouldn't edit tours? What do you mean edit tours? How can you edit a tour?
No, like if I recorded it,
Oh.
I'd probably just like crop certain things out, like not anything that Paul's saying, but just in between when everybody's like working their way through the orchard and stuff.
Yeah, or he puts the camera up in the air and down on the ground and over to the left and the right and sees nothing.
Yeah. I'd have to crop. I'd have to do some more. But maybe I'll do it once this year. It's a lot of work.
Thanks for thumbing up, Abedadon. What? Abedabundon. What kind of name is that?
I want to see who you're talking about.
55K, Carol. It's working. What's 55?
Well, now we're at 58
Oh,
likes.
you mean telling people to thumbs up?
Yes.
Don't forget the thumbs up. Don't forget the thumbs up.
Yeah, the purple tree color survived. Thank you.
Come on, we want to meet 65 at least tonight. 75, 100 likes. We're almost we're beyond halfway. We got to get up.
And share it. Once this video goes out, I don't know if you can share it now, but share it.
Did the purple tree colored survive?
Yeah. The black raspberries and raspberries are annual, meaning once they produce fruit, they're over. So cut those canes out and let the new ones come back in for next year. Don't leave the old canes there. But once they're finished producing, that's it for them. You have to cut those canes out.
Crouton goes, I've watched every tour. YouTube waiting
I
for
like
more.
Crouton.
Crouton, making sure he says it right, would you please? It's ridiculous. And I appreciate you, NICU nurses, or whoever you are. It's terrible. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about, I'm sure. The purple tree colored survived, and then let's see.
It's
so blessed to home birth. My last transverse, almost 10-pounder from my 100-pound frame would have been a C-section for sure. Women's bodies are amazing. Oh my goodness! Don't eat so much sugar next time. That's horrible. That must have hurt. Anyway, sorry, poor thing. But it's good to have good, simple living and have babies at home. I had to use hay, grass, clippings, and sawdust this year. What's that?
What was his name?
Anyway, for those of you 1,000 miles away, L2 Survive and that nub, he puts on a lot of stuff that's on the tour. So that's a good.
He recorded one video so far this year. He's coming at the end of this month to record another. The one that he did, I want to say it was the beginning of July, but maybe last month. I think he's holding on to that video. He's going to be holding on to a lot more videos in the future, just to kind of keep to put out later in the future. Yeah, but he'll be putting stuff out. It's a lot of work for him to do a lot of that.
And express gratitude for, thank him, because it is a lot of work.
Yeah.
Re-desertification of deserts in China and the Middle East. Yeah. I was looking at something on that.
Well, I know that deserts were not man-made, and when they've done in Africa, they're bringing animals back, and the grass is growing. It's just it's terrible what we've done to the planet, and deserts were never God's idea.
I was going to say something, but I don't remember.
Amazing what Israel has managed to do out there. So green. You can say that again, and I've watched it for the last 9 years. It's been phenomenal. It was already pretty green when I got there, but it's changed even now.
Yeah, Israel's such a classic example about restoring a desert, because it was a desert for 2,000 years, and now they come back and replant it. Now it's raining and snowing in Israel. All of nature really cooperates when you correct.
And the scripture, that's part of the prophecy that would happen. Mm-hmm. So it's like we're in the last days, folks.
Oh wait, what was that? Any more questions? Going once.
Yeah, all your vegetables, all your stuff in the garden or whatever the house you don't eat, just put on the wood chips is great. That's a good way to compost them.
105. I would probably die if I was there right now. Like, I'd probably just die. Going from 65 to 105. Could do it. Yeah, you can definitely compost or throw it to the chickens to compost it. I don't do the whole chop and drop thing, but it's actually great for the soil, but it looks like a mess.
Carol, will you be home in August? I'm trying to get up there. I'd like to meet you.
August.
Yeah.
Yeah, I will. Who is that? Hi, busy little house.
It's the most interesting, boring life.
Who
wants to know?
That's the person who wants to know.
The most interesting, boring life.
What is your interesting, boring life so interesting for?
That's clickbait.
Oh,
I wish I could click it right
August. I'm trying. It is clickbait?
No. Yes and no.
Okay.
But yeah, that's her name.
Okay. Have you guys read what? Daniel, I'm bad about pulling old plants up instead of chopping and dropping. How necessary? Okay.
I like to pull up old plants and take things to my chickens. I don't like the chopping and dropping because it's kind of a mess. So for me, it's just easier to let the chickens process it.
What are some herbs to help hair loss in older women?
Are you a regular churchgoer?
I don't go to church.
We are the church. We go to church every day.
And we're having church right now where 2 or 3 are gathered together in his presence, he's there. And if you read the scripture, God doesn't dwell in temples made with hands. And if you read Revelation 3:20, people try to misinterpret that word to speaking to unbelievers, but Jesus is right at the church in Revelation and says, I stand at the door and knock of my church. I bought with my blood. The door is closed. I'm outside of it. He's not welcome in church.
Well, wait a minute. I mean, we're not trying to put people down that go to church. It's just that God doesn't have us there right now. We've certainly spent many years going to churches, but God's really taken us out of for a time. But that doesn't mean everybody else does, you know? And it's like, it says not to forsake the assembling of yourselves together. And we're being assembled together if we're gathering in his name and we're talking about him. No, don't do that. All right. Anyway, you can hear me. I have a loud mouth. Anyway, I just want you guys to know that we're not trying to diss churches. What we're trying to do is say that God has us in a place right now where he's saying, that's not where I want you. Your church is the people that come to you. Your church is wherever you exalt my name, and wherever 2 or 3 are gathered in my name, there will I be in the midst of them. And we're fellowshipping right now for those of us that are believers, and those of us that aren't, it's good too. You know, I mean, it's just Yeshua is a reality. It's something you cannot separate out and go to church. You know what I mean? It's like it's a living, breathing experience you have with the God of the universe. And it's a continuum. It's not something we separate. It's something we do on a daily basis, on an ongoing basis.
If you read the book of Acts, where the church started and grew exponentially, it met in homes. People got together and ate and fellowship. They read the word. When needs showed up, they met them, and the church grew exponentially. That's the design. That's how it was intended to be.
Nick did soak his chicken feed. They're all gone now because they got processed, as he says. But he did soak his chicken feed.
I do soak my chicken feed.
Oh, excuse me.
If I had chickens, I'd be soaking it.
Okay. I agree, Carol. God placed Adam in the garden in his creation. That's where I hear God. Yeah, a lot of people hear God in the garden. I hear God wherever I go to. I hear God in the woods. I hear God when I'm walking down the street, when I'm in the shower. I mean, it's all about relationship. It's all about relationship with capital letters. He died for relationship. He did not die for religion. He died to have relationship with us.
Can you tell us why that is new to me? What's new to you? Oh, the soaking of the chicken feed?
Oh, yeah. That's good.
Okay. Okay. So, how do I want to say it? I like to use whole grains. That's the best. And I soak them because after 8 hours, it activates the life inside the seed. Is it 8 hours?
Well, it depends on the seed, but yeah.
Average, we'll say 10 hours.
He's awakening the life force within the seed.
Okay, so when you plant a seed in the garden and you water it in, after 8 hours, it like wakes the seed up. Like, okay, it's time to grow. So then it starts doing its thing and starts to grow and come alive.
But it awakens the life force.
Yeah. So when you've got a bucket full of seed and water, you gotta have like a little bit of water on top of it just so it ferments and doesn't get all rancid. There's soaking the seed and then there's fermenting the seed. There's a difference. I'm really tired.
I like watching your face when I talk. What does that mean? Are you going like this? You're not tired.
It's just better. It's good. The chickens and whatever
it's fermenting.
Whatever eats the grain gets more nutritional value out of the feed.
Exponentially. Increases the nutritional value.
Track with me, young man. Are you tracking? Did you track with me?
Who?
Whoever. Any of these 39 people.
Carol, do you soak or sprout grains when you cook for people?
I have, certainly. I don't do it all the time, but I certainly have. I mean, I'm treading water right now. I'm busy. Think that your garden tours are your ministry and you are bringing God's word to those who may not have been introduced in such a personal way. Church is preaching to the choir. Joke. He said he was getting tired. He said that. You?
How old are your zucchini plants?
Oh, they were planted in May.
Oh, no, I was asking Greg.
Oh.
He said, why aren't my zucchini plants producing any female flowers? If they're young plants, they're not going to produce female flowers yet. They put out a bunch of males, and then they throw out some females, and then the males pollinate them. But
They grow great. Plant them under your trees. It's amazing the difference.
yeah. Come on, Greg, get back.
Thank you, Busy Little House, for being so supportive. You're always encouraging.
Where do you live anyway, Busy House?
I feel like she told us.
I know, but where was it? I forgot.
Was it Quebec?
Yeah, Canada.
Karen.
This has been Karen, by the way. My husband thinks the internet is of the devil. LOL. I didn't want Carol to think some man was creeping on her. Who? What? Some man?
Oh, she's in Quebec. Busy Little House is in
Wait, is this the same Karen? I'm so confused right now.
I know. Is David and Karen Daniel the busy little?
I don't know.
Crouton, how about some cooking videos using your homegrown food?
We should make a Canyon Crud video.
So crazy dumb though. It's so okay. All you do is you take ground something, ground bison, ground elk, ground deer, ground hamburger, ground turkey, and you cook it up with some onion, and you add then you add rice to it, and you add cayenne pepper. That is the video. That's the extent of it. It's really yummy. What are you talking about? What else? That's really good. And then you make a nice green salad that we have. Show them that.
Oh, yes.
That we haven't been able to eat yet. But this is just a spinach salad from the Gautschi garden with red onions and what else is in there? Feta cheese, yeah. Feta for this Greek boy and for us. It's apple slices, and I made some homemade vinaigrette for it. And I like simple cooking because the more complicated you make it, often it's not as much food value. So you want to go with simple, and you don't want to overcook your vegetables. And so I don't know. I always wonder if it's cooked enough for Nico because I'm not sure he's.
Okay.
Yeah. I just want to fill his tummy and my husband's tummy, so I don't really get too elaborate. Sometimes I get gourmet, but my husband will eat a bowl of oatmeal and be thankful for it just as much as if I'm slaving over the kitchen stove for 3 hours trying to make him a gourmet meal. Just kind of cook, and I usually cook something I feel like cooking.
And when Paul cooks, it's his eggs and potatoes. Or not potatoes, eggs and sunflower seeds or his potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Greg just said, I ate the eggs and sunflower seeds, coconut oil, and chili flakes I saw Paul eat in the video. It was so good. Really
See, we should have eaten dinner tonight in front of you. I told Paul, I said, we should just eat in front of him because we hadn't eaten yet. He goes, no, I don't want to do that. And I said, then they'd ask us what it was and we could tell them. So what about Nico? What did you miss? What did they say about Nico? What did we miss about?
I don't know. What did you miss?
That's Nick at Beverly.
Almost 2 hours.
Oh, Nico? Oh, she wants to know Nico. I call him Nico because he's
I'm Greek.
I went to Greece twice this year and I says, Nico. I said, your name's not Nick. Your name's Nico. I'm not calling you Nick anymore.
The name's Nico.
Nico. Not just Nico, but
so when
Nico.
she called me Nick today, I was like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? Yeah.
I don't think it has improved. It's really discouraging when I was there. It's like they're making about €4 at the most an hour from what I could tell from what they told me. And they've got Pacific Northwest prices, which are not like, I don't know how they're making it, but somehow I think they live with each other's families and, some
Greeks.
Yeah, they're family oriented.
Yeah.
And that's what's the sustenance. That's why I think one of the reasons that there's so many homeless in the United States, because the people don't really take care of their families like they should. In other countries, they do it. Here, they don't really. Lyon, France. What about Lyon, France? I have a good friend that lives there. What about Lyon, France? Why are Christian people always pressing me to have a plan B and C for my future and buy all kinds of insurance and similar nonsense?
Well, you tell those people that the scripture says it's appointed unto man once to die. After you tell them until my appointment comes, I'm safe. I have nothing to worry about, and just be at rest. Being anxious, the word says, be anxious for nothing, and all that stuff that you're hearing is an anxiousness, and God's not into that.
Plus, what good is it going to be if it all implodes, you know? I think that you need to learn to hear God and hear what he's saying to you. I don't identify with the word Christian anymore. I would never say I wasn't a Christian if someone asked. But it's just the word Christian kind of turns me off. It's like the word love. Everybody's a Christian in the United States. I don't like that. And plus, I found out it was conjured up by some, I don't remember who it was in the early church that was not even tracking. And it means Christ-like. All of us hope to be Christ-like, but in reality, it's the blood of Yeshua makes God to be able to look upon us at all. So Christ-like, I'm not. I'm working on it. But I know that God's working in me both to will and to do of his good pleasure. And so it's not hopeless case. It gives me a lot of hope.
What's the challenge that Doug and Stacy are doing? I'm not up to date on all of it. Everybody on
Who's
YouTube.
Doug and Stacy?
These people on YouTube. Doug and Stacy. I don't even know. What are they doing?
Doug and Stacy off the girds, Nick's. That hat is perfect. And Carol's humor, you would get hits. Both too cute. What are they? What is he?
I don't know.
I don't know anything about what you're talking about. But it would be interesting, Beverly, to find out. I grew up messianic. I'm not messianic. I definitely am not messianic. But I call Yeshua because that's what his mother called him. How would you like it if somebody changed your name just because of their...
To Nico. It's like, I'm just kidding. Just kidding.
But he loves his name. I think he loves me to call him Nico. But anyway, if he didn't, I wouldn't call him that.
Yeah, I don't care.
But
as long as it's not Nikki. I don't like Nikki.
I'm not doing Nikki.
Nikki's like...
No. Anyway, no, stop. Nico, stop. You're gonna get us in trouble. Anyway, so we love Yeshua, but Yehoshua or whatever. And I've been to Israel enough, and I've just got an appreciation. I got convicted about calling him Jesus only. I love Jesus' name, but I just love the fact that his mother used to call him Yeshua. And I think that's beautiful. I'm a mom, and I can relate to that. And that's what he was named. And the name Jesus has only been around for 200 to 300 years. I mean, there was never J in the Hebrew alphabet.
I'm trying to find this challenge video. Oh, wait, here it is. The Get Up Challenge. Hold on. Come on, Doug. Speed it up. Hold on. Is there any questions you guys?
Lyon, France. They're definitely.
This is
food there is good. What?
This is that stupid song that I was talking about.
This guy is a Okie now.
You gotta do it.
What are you doing?
You gotta do that stupid dance.
What? Is that what they're talking about doing?
Yeah, we'll do it. Put it on your side. Okay, that's enough.
Okay, Beverly Glasgow says yes. What are we doing? Yeah, most European, most Parisian or French food is really, really good. I mean, it's just not. Yeah. Every time I go to France, I really enjoy their food and cooking.
Paul, are you bored?
No.
You want to end it?
I don't. No, I'm fine.
You both would be perfect. I'm telling you. They're telling me we have to.
It's the Get Up.
Oh my gosh. Carol and Paul should do what?
The Get Up song.
Is that what that is?
Yeah. That's such a dumb song, but it's so funny.
Paul doesn't dance and he doesn't move so good as it is. I don't know about Nico. We'll see.
I don't dance. That's why it'd be hilarious.
I definitely dance, but I would probably outdo I don't know if I could do it actually. Mother Earth News and giving you so much credit for what we do, hoping to lead others there to your film and local tour. We've learned almost all we do from you. Oh, good simple living and homesteading. That's cool. Okay, so my 4 kids are all dancing to it. The challenge, I will be waiting. Can't wait. I don't know what she's talking about. I want Nick and Carol. I don't know what she's talking about.
The video with the.
That's his
thing.
reading. Face guys, get used to this thinking face. What?
Paul's thinking face when he's reading.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
He looks like he's scowling.
I'm just trying to follow.
He's trying
all this,
not to wear his glasses.
and just trying to read all these questions. I'm sorry. I'm just being intent.
Yeah.
Gwendolyn and Harleth got their busy little thing deleted.
Need 37 more years.
Me, I'm doing everything that I just need 37 more years.
All right, we're at 2 hours. Should we just call it?
Sure.
I don't know. You guys want to call it?
What do you think?
It's up to you. I'm fine.
Sure.
Is that what you do? You call
All
it?
right. Yeah.
Good night.
That was quick. All right, I'm gonna
you
give you a
done?
date for the next one. So, that'll be a busy day.
Thank you, busy little house. Always appreciate your input. Thank you.
So since it's every other Thursday, why does this keep happening? It's like screws up my schedule.
Go eat
So
that
the next-
delicious salad.
Yeah.
I was enjoying the show. God bless. Thank you, Guitar Slim.
The next
Thanks for hanging out, you guys.
The next live stream would be on the 1st, and that's the day of your little
Yeah, this is gonna
herbal
be a
thing.
huge.
And my mom's getting here on that day. She's flying across the country to come visit.
On that day, she's gonna be.
Yeah,
Here?
so I'm gonna have to miss that class.
Why is she coming in on that day?
I don't know. That's just what worked out. I don't
Okay.
know.
That's a
Yeah,
really
so-
good. It's gonna be a really good class for you. I was hoping you'd do that one, but it's okay.
Well, maybe. I don't know.
No, it's not
We'll
gonna happen.
Okay, whatever.
Anyway, it's okay.
We can do it next week.
Let's do it next week and just skip that one.
We'll skip it. So the next live stream will be on the 25th. So next Thursday at 6 o'clock, same time. Anything else that I want to say? Oh, I remember what I was going to say earlier. Does anybody on here, are they really good at like making websites? I need help with my website. Let's see real quick before everybody leaves. Come on, website people. I know you're out there. Nope. Oh, you're no help.
Yeah, is
I'm
anybody?
a Luddite. Yeah.
I'm a Luddite. Okay, so anybody know of anybody that might be able to help Nick get his? Just get it
Or
up.
what's a good
Free one, ideally.
free, because I'm not rich. What's a good free website builder website? Website builder website. Anybody know?
Yeah, and don't just say free. It actually is free. Because they're acting like they want to hook you, and then you find out it's not free. Unfortunately.
Karen, are you on Instagram?
Who?
My mod, Karen. Is GoDaddy good though? You're kind of on Instagram? What's that mean? Message me on Instagram and then I can send you my number. And then you can just text me. I know I can get in touch with Justin Rhodes. I was hoping to go down there and visit him and sometime this fall. I don't know if that's gonna happen. I was gonna go down there and go visit Pete Canaris. I think that's how you say his last name. I always screw it up. Justin and then Joel Salatin. But I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, if I go down there, I'll go live. Okay, well, I'm not getting any help with the website thing, so maybe leave it in the comments or something if you come up with something. Yeah. All right, so adios. Peace. I'm ending this. Till next Thursday, the 25th. We'll see ya.